Good evening. Thank you for viewing today's presentation, Cloud Computing, Strategical Business Need. All of us probably heard about cloud computing and how businesses can success or fail using this controversial technology. Today, we will review and analyze the basic concepts and potential business impacts of migrating to the cloud for our organization. On today's agenda, we will first start with a brief definition of cloud computing, its capabilities, advantages, and disadvantages. Then, we will move to the business impact of migrating to the cloud for our organization. Afterwards, we'll review the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat analysis and realize how can this help us giving a wider perspective of our organization. And finally, we will conclude with my professional recommendation based on the business financial analysis. What is cloud computing? The official definition of cloud computing from the National Institute of Standards and Technology describes it as follows. Cloud computing is a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable resources that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. So, what does this mean? In a nutshell, cloud computing is using someone else's computer, meaning the compute, network, storage, and other required resources are provided over the internet, resides on a large corporation infrastructure called Cloud Services Provider or CST, and is maintained and supported by that corporation staff. The end user, in this case our organization, will acquire the resources on a lease or subscription basis, and the cost is calculated by the used and reserved resources, without the need of upfront charges or practically any capital expenditure. Cloud capabilities. The key factor for the rise of cloud computing are its capabilities, such as agility. The cloud fast and self-provision model of deployment allowed required resources provisioning a matter of minutes, contrary to a normally long and costly process for the traditional on-premise data center model that can take months and high capital expense costs. Elasticity. In cloud computing, elasticity means the capability to access the same resources on any device, platform, or operating system, closing the gap between compatibility of software and hardware and allowing businesses to reach virtually any desired target. Availability. The cloud deployment model warranties anywhere, anytime availability, as long as the user have an internet connection, helping to maintain an always available service scheme. Reliability. The cloud model presents a reliable data scheme achieved by multiple problem countermeasurements, such as high availability, redundant site replication, and disaster recovery mechanism. Scalability. Expansion and scaling is virtually limitless, since provisioning is performed on the cloud service provider large data center infrastructures. These capabilities can help our organization to achieve a business advantage and success on the highly competitive global market. Moving on, we can analyze the advantages and disadvantages of the cloud. Advantages: cost effectiveness. The lease subscription model of cloud computing eliminates the requirement of on-premise capital expenditure, saving cost, especially on the long term with upfront reserve resources. Manageability. Cloud computing enables an easy, fast, and centralized implementation for the user, while the underlying administration, support, and management of resources is performed by the cloud service provider. Reliability. The cloud provider's large storage infrastructure, high availability, data replication, and disaster recovery mechanisms provides a seamless data backup and restore process in case of a failure. Strategic edge. Swiftness on testing and deployment of newer applications and services. with a close to zero time to market can give our company a decisive advantage among competitors. Disadvantages: downtime. In case of an internet or cloud service provider outage, application and services can be accessed. However, this is almost impossible with dual internet connections and the cloud service provider redundant implementation. Limited control. Since the administrator and management of the underlying resources is a role of the cloud provider, the control of them is limited for us. Vendor lock-in. Migration of resources from one cloud to another is not fully ready yet. Hence, the decision regarding who will be your cloud provider must be properly analyzed. Business impact. Based on the two larger cloud service provider total cost of ownership calculators, Amazon AWS TCO and Microsoft Azure TCO, I've performed an analysis of our current infrastructure. Results shows that saving in 3 years can range from 51 to 78%. Not only our company can make a big save of capital that can be redirected to growth and development, but also take advantage of the cloud capabilities. We will be able to take the lead among competitors and exponentiate our growth and revenue in a scale that will be impossible if we maintain or even expand our current on-premise data center model. Further information can be found on each calculator report attached on this presentation. Strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat analysis show us that using our solid lifelong customer portfolio, leading edge in the industry, and existing IT talent, we can make sure a smooth transition to the cloud can be accomplished with minimal to no negative impact to our business. Also, our currently maxed out data center is costly to maintain, and expansion will require a large amount of capital investment, whereas a cloud approach can be a more cost-effective opportunity for our organization. While being a solid company and the industry leader for years, this can give us a perception of resilience to change, key factor to today's evolving globalized market, and can pose as a threat if we don't modernize and adapt to new technologies. In addition, the large capital expense required for data center expansion, plus the long and tedious process from planning to production, can give our competitors a strategical advantage that can represent a risk to us. In conclusion, as a head of the IT department, an engineer with years of experience on multi-vendor and multi-technologies, I strongly advise the board to adopt a cloud-based model for our organization expansion. Taking advantage of our strengths, opportunities, and the cloud computing capabilities, I firmly believe our organization can have an unprecedented growth and solidify our position of industry leaders.